In the hush of a Roman night, as the sun surrenders to the moon, the eternal city begins its quiet transformation. The Tiber whispers secrets to its banks, its waters reflecting the flickering dance of olive oil lamps that hang from wrought iron brackets along the Via Sacra. The city breathes out, its marble buildings releasing the heat of the day as stars peek through the velvet canopy above. The clatter of chariots is softened, replaced by the hushed shuffles of sandals on stone, hurrying homewards. A symphony of night sounds emerges, the distant baying of a pack mule, the rhythmic lapping of water against embankments, the faint hum of crickets in the forum's ancient olive groves. Now, picture this scene at the turn of the 2nd century before Christ. The city is abuzz with whispers of power, intrigue, and ambition. It is into this world that our tale unfolds, with a young man whose name would one day echo through history, Gaius Julius Caesar. Born on the 7th or 8th day of July in the year 100 BC, Caesar first drew breath in his family's domus near the Palatine Hill. His lineage was as ancient as Rome itself, tracing back to Iulus, son of the Trojan prince Aeneas. He was a Juliae, one of the patrician clans that traced their roots to Rome's founding fathers. His mother, Aurelia, was a woman of strength and influence. Her bloodline was equally noble, descended from the legendary King Ancus Marcius. She carried Caesar within her until his 9th month, a sign, the soothsayers would later claim, of his future greatness. As he emerged into the world, washed by the hands of midwives, Rome was still basking in the glow of its recent victories over Carthage. Caesar's early life was one of privilege and comfort. He would have known the cool embrace of marble floors underfoot, the rustle of fine linens against his skin, and the scent of fresh bread wafting from the family bakery each morning. His childhood was filled with tutors' lessons, games of latrunculii, and the companionship of other young nobles. But fate is a fickle mistress. When Caesar was just 16, his father, Gaius Julius Caesar Sr., died suddenly. The boy became the head of his family, burdened with responsibilities far beyond his years. Yet, amidst the grief and uncertainty, there was also opportunity. For in Rome, power vacuum breeds ambition. Into this void stepped Lucius Cornelius Sulla, a brutal dictator who would shape the course of young Caesar's life. Sulla had been Caesar Sr.'s political enemy, and now he turned his gaze upon the son. The boy found himself marked for death, a pawn in Sulla's game of power. Fear, that insidious companion, must have walked with Caesar then. Yet, even as a youth, there was steel within him. He refused to flee Rome or join the ranks of exiles. Instead, he chose to stay, navigating the treacherous waters of Roman politics with a caution that belied his years. His education in rhetoric served him well during this time. The art of persuasive speech, so valued by Romans, became Caesar's shield and sword. He mastered its nuances, learning to sway hearts as easily as he could turn a phrase. This would prove invaluable not only in politics, but also when faced with another formidable challenge, capture. For while still in his 20s, Caesar was taken captive by pirates operating off the coast of Asia Minor. Instead of fear or despair, however, he responded with characteristic composure and wit. He treated his captors as equals, even dictating terms for his ransom. When they demanded 20 talents of silver, Caesar laughed, insisting they ask for 50 instead. But Caesar was no mere hostage, he was a man of action. Upon his release after 38 days, he raised an army, tracked down the pirates, and had them crucified, just as they'd threatened him with this fate during their negotiations. This tale illustrates two key aspects of Caesar's character: his resilience in adversity and his ability to turn even hostile situations to his advantage. It also hints at another facet, his charisma, which could inspire loyalty among friends and enemies alike. As Rome slept around him, the young Caesar honed these qualities, preparing for the trials that lay ahead. His life was far from peaceful, yet each challenge he faced only served to temper his resolve, like a blade forged in fire. So picture him now, beneath the olive groves of the Forum, under the watchful eyes of Jupiter, Optimus Maximus, and Mars Ultorn. Picture Caesar at dawn, his toga draped over one shoulder, sandals dusty from the Via Sacra. He's not yet the conqueror who will cross the Rubicon, nor the dictator who will be assassinated on the Ides of March. No, this is Caesar in his youth, a man shaped by adversity, guided by ambition, and tempered by love for his city. As you lie here tonight, let the rhythm of my words lull you into Rome's ancient embrace. Let the distant echoes of Caesar's footsteps guide your journey through history's grand tapestry. Let the hushed whispers of the Forum become your lullaby as we explore together the rise and fall of empire, the dreams of men, and the eternal city that bears witness to them all. Now, close your eyes. In the waning light of a Roman evening, as the sun begins its descent behind the marble temples of the Forum Romanum, we find ourselves amidst the echoing grandeur of an empire on the cusp of transformation. The air is filled with the scent of burning olive oil lamps, their flickering flames casting long shadows that dance upon the cold marble steps leading up to the rostra, the orator's platform. Imagine, if you will, the Forum at dusk. The once bustling square now hums with a gentle rhythm, like the slow beating of a great heart. Street vendors pack away their wares, the clatter of amphorae and the rustle of fabrics replaced by the soft murmurs of neighbors greeting one another as they close up shop for the day. The creak of wooden cartwheels on cobblestones punctuates the air, a lullaby sung by the city to its inhabitants as they prepare for the night. In this twilight world, we see senators clad in their pristine white togas, their golden rings glinting in the fading light, making their way home from another day of deliberations. They are the guardians of Rome's laws, the voice of her people, and yet, like any powerful body, they too are subject to the ebb and flow of political tides. It is into this realm that we follow Gaius Julius Caesar, a name whispered in reverence and dread, depending on whom you ask. Born into a patrician family with a long history of service to Rome, Caesar's path was laid out before him. Yet he would not simply walk it. He would forge a new one, navigating enemies on all sides with a political cunning that would leave an indelible mark on the empire. In the year 63 BC, we find Caesar at a pivotal juncture. He has already proven himself a capable soldier and administrator in his provincial governorships, but he yearns for more. His eyes are set on Rome, her political stage calling to him like the siren song of power. The election for Pontifex Maximus, the highest religious office in the Roman state, is underway. A position of great prestige and influence, it is coveted by many, including Caesar's rival, Marcus Porcius Cato. But Caesar is undeterred. He campaigns not with bombastic speeches or empty promises, but with quiet confidence and genuine care for the people. He visits the homes of the common folk, listens to their concerns, offers words of comfort and reassurance. And so, it is with little surprise that when the votes are tallied, Caesar emerges victorious. The people have spoken, and they have chosen a leader who understands them, who respects them. Yet, victory does not come without its challenges. As Pontifex Maximus, Caesar finds himself in direct conflict with the conservative senators who see his election as a threat to their power. They scrutinize his every move, looking for any sign of impropriety. But Caesar is unflappable. He navigates these treacherous waters with the stealth and grace of a seasoned sailor, weathering storms that would have felled lesser men. 2 years later, in 59 BC, Caesar stands before the assembled senators, his eyes scanning the sea of white togas, each one representing a potential ally or adversary. Today is the day he will be elected consul, the highest political office in Rome. The tension in the air is palpable, like the charged silence before a thunderclap. But Caesar does not falter. He speaks with eloquence and conviction, his words echoing through the vast space of the Curia, silencing even the most vociferous of his detractors. His election as consul is a triumph, but it also marks the beginning of a new chapter in Rome's history. For Caesar knows that to maintain his power, he must forge alliances with those who would seek to undermine him. And so, in secret gatherings under the cloak of night, he forms an unprecedented coalition with two of Rome's most powerful men, Pompey Magnus, the renowned general and politician, and Marcus Licinius Crassus, the wealthiest man in Rome. Together, they become known as the First Triumvirate. The formation of this political triumvirate sends shockwaves through the Senate. Never before has such a coalition been formed. Never before have three men held such sway over the destiny of Rome. And yet, amidst the turmoil and uncertainty, there is also an undeniable sense of stability. For with Caesar, Pompey, and Crassus united, Rome finds herself on the brink of unprecedented prosperity and military might. But as we know, all things must pass, all empires rise and fall. And so it is that the bonds of the First Triumvirate begin to fray, pulled taut by the weight of ambition and greed. The once mighty alliance begins to crumble, like a statue eroded by time and weather. As we leave Caesar in this critical juncture, let us take with us the echoes of Rome at dusk. Let them fill our mind's eye. Let them soothe our thoughts into calm waters. For it is in the quiet of the night that we find respite from the storms of the day, and it is in sleep's gentle embrace that we await the dawn, refreshed and renewed. Now, allow your eyelids to grow heavy. Let the sound of distant cheers from the Circus Maximus fade into the background. Let the scent of olive oil lamps fill your nostrils, and as you breathe out slowly, let yourself drift into the warm, welcoming arms of slumber. Good night. In the twilight of a Gaulish evening, beneath an expanse of stars that seemed to stretch forever northwards, Julius Caesar's legions settle into their encampments. The march has been long, the forests dense with ancient secrets whispered in the rustling leaves above. The scent of pine and earth fills the air, mingling with the aroma of burning wood from the legionaries' campfires. The soldiers move with practiced efficiency, the clanking of armor echoing through the forest like the distant rumble of a storm. Each man knows his task, tents are raised, shields leaned against trees in neat rows, and cooking pots hung over flames that cast dancing shadows on weathered faces. This is their world, this life of order amidst the wild, forged over 8 long years of campaigning. As night descends, the legions slip into their routines like a well-oiled machine. Sandals are removed, calloused feet sinking into the cool earth. Helmets are lifted off, revealing sweat-soaked hair and faces etched with fatigue, but also pride. Armor is unbuckled, each piece handled with care, a testament to its protection and the wearer's survival. The camp is alive with quiet sounds. The scrape of steel as swords are sharpened, the low murmur of men sharing rations, the distant hum of a lyre played by some enterprising musician. Yet, it is not chaos but harmony, a symphony of peace amidst war's constant drumbeat. In this vast forest, Caesar's legions are like islands of order in a sea of wilderness. Above them, the stars glitter coldly, indifferent to the human drama unfolding below. Here, under these unfamiliar constellations, they have fought and bled, learned the lay of the land, and tempered their resolve. Gaul has taught them resilience, patience, and unity. The first battles were against the Helvetii, a people fleeing their own lands, seeking refuge in distant territories. Caesar's legions, fresh from Italy, faced this migrating horde at the foot of the Alps. The air was thick with dust and desperation, as thousands upon thousands of men, women, and children surged forward, only to be met by an unyielding wall of Roman shields. The clash of steel on steel rang out like thunder, echoing off the mountainsides. But it was not just a battle of force, it was also one of strategy. Caesar watched from his vantage point, assessing, adapting, ordering his men with calm precision. When the Helvetii broke, they did so utterly, retreating back into their own lands, leaving behind a lesson etched in blood. Gaul would not be conquered easily. Next came the Germanic tribes, fierce warriors who painted themselves blue before battle and believed death in combat guaranteed entry to their afterlife. They charged across the Rhine with wild abandon, expecting to find soft Roman flesh to carve open. Instead, they found Caesar's legions waiting, disciplined, unyielding. The Romans fought not with reckless bravery, but calculated ferocity, each legionary knowing his place in the line, his role in the dance of war. Then there was Vercingetorix, the brilliant Gallic chieftain who united the tribes against Caesar's advance. At Gergovia, Vercingetorix lured Caesar into an ambush, surrounding him with a double-gate strategy that nearly cost the Roman his life and certainly his reputation. But even in retreat, Caesar showed no panic, ordering his men back to camp methodically, ensuring every man made it safely behind their fortifications. The siege of Alesia was the final act of this decade-long drama. Vercingetorix had holed up inside the Gallic hill fort with tens of thousands of followers, believing they could withstand Caesar's assault indefinitely. But Caesar didn't rush. He dug in, building a circumvallation wall around the city and an outer defensive line to protect against any relief efforts. He waited, patient as a predator, until Vercingetorix's supplies ran out. When Vercingetorix surrendered, riding out of Alesia on his white horse amidst his defeated people, Caesar watched impassively, his expression unreadable. This was not victory by chance or luck. It was victory earned through 8 years of blood, sweat, and strategy. It was victory forged in the vast forests of Gaul under countless stars. As night deepens around Caesar's encampments, the legions settle down to sleep. Their dreams are filled with echoes of battle cries and the remembered feel of their weapons. But tonight, they dream also of home, of Rome, of the triumphs that await them upon their return, for they have proven themselves worthy time and again on these foreign shores. And Caesar, standing alone in his tent, gaze fixed on the flickering flame of his olive oil lamp, knows that these men will follow him anywhere now. They are bound together by shared hardships, mutual respect, and unspoken loyalties. They are no longer just soldiers, they are a brotherhood tempered in Gaul's crucible. So let us leave them here, beneath the vast canopy of stars, their campfires burning low, their breaths syncopated with the rhythm of nature around them. Let us let sleep claim them, for tomorrow dawns early and brings with it new challenges, new victories to be won. But for now, there is only peace, only the quiet contentment of a task well done under the watchful eye of history. Good night, warriors of Rome. Sleep well amidst your laurels, knowing you have earned them truly. In the chill of January 4,000 years ago, Julius Caesar stands at the river's edge, his breath misting in the cold air. The Rubicon, a mere trickle under the moonlight, seems to mock the magnitude of his decision. His heart is heavy, his mind a whirlwind of tactics and consequences. He knows this crossing will spark a civil war, but he also knows it's time to challenge Pompey's power. The river is not wide, yet it feels vast tonight. The water flows silently, reflecting the moon's silver glow, unaware of the history it's about to witness. Caesar takes a deep breath, the cold air filling his lungs, steeling him for what lies ahead. He gives the order, and his army begins to cross. The march to Rome is swift, as silent as the night that cloaks them. They tread lightly, their sandals barely whispering on the ancient stones of Italy. Caesar's mind races like a chariot, anticipating Pompey's counterattack, planning his next move. But for now, there's only the sound of marching feet and the distant hoot of an owl. Pompey flees before they reach Rome, leaving behind a city caught in the grip of fear and uncertainty. Caesar enters the capital unopposed, but he knows this is just the beginning. He says to his men, "The die has been cast, committing them all irrevocably to war." Across the Mediterranean, in Egypt, Cleopatra waits. Not yet queen, but already a schemer, she learns of Caesar's approach. She sends her sister Arsinoe to greet him, but Cleopatra knows better than to trust the fickle winds of politics. She must make her own entrance. Alexandria awaits Caesar like an ancient lover. The city breathes history under the moonlight, its streets echoing with tales of Alexander and his successors. The air is warm, carrying whispers of spices from distant lands, mingling with the scent of Nile mud and lotus flowers. Caesar's ship glides into Alexandria's harbor, past the lighthouse of Pharos, a towering beacon against the night sky. It's said that this lighthouse can be seen from miles away, guiding sailors safely to shore. Tonight, it guides Caesar to Cleopatra. The young queen-to-be has prepared herself for this moment. She knows Rome's history, its power, and she understands what it means for a Roman general to set foot in Egypt. Wrapped in a carpet fit for a king, she is carried into Caesar's presence, her heart pounding with anticipation. Caesar is taken aback by the audacity of her entrance, but also captivated by her beauty and intelligence. The warmth of Egypt has seeped into Cleopatra's skin, making it glow like polished bronze. Her eyes are pools of ancient knowledge, reflecting the moonlight streaming through the open windows. Their meeting sparks an immediate connection, a dance of words and wits. Caesar sees in Cleopatra not just a potential ally against Pompey, but a woman worthy of his respect, his admiration, perhaps even his love. For Cleopatra, Caesar is Rome embodied, powerful, wise, and enigmatic. Their nights on the Nile are filled with whispers of lovemaking and conversations that span centuries. The river flows slowly beneath their barge, carrying them towards an uncertain future, but for now, they are lost in each other's company. The scent of lotus flowers fills the air, a perfume sweeter than any frankincense or myrrh. Cleopatra becomes pregnant with Caesarion, her son by Julius Caesar. He is named after his father and the sun god, a symbol of Egypt's enduring power. Their nights are filled with soft coos and gentle rocking, the baby's cries mingling with the calls of night birds along the riverbank. Together, they explore Alexandria's wonders. The great library is their treasure trove, its scrolls containing secrets of the universe waiting to be discovered. Cleopatra takes Caesar's hand, guiding him through labyrinthine corridors filled with ancient wisdom. They lose themselves in stories of gods and heroes, their fingers brushing dust off scrolls that haven't been touched in centuries. The warmth of Egypt seeps into Caesar's bones, its magic wrapping around him like a cloak spun from moonbeams. He feels at home here, away from the cold politics of Rome, in this city where history breathes and love blooms under starlit skies. But he knows duty calls him back to war, back to his legions waiting impatiently for his return. As Caesar prepares to leave Egypt, Cleopatra watches him from her balcony overlooking the harbor. The sun is rising, painting the sky with hues of gold and orange. The lighthouse stands tall against the horizon, its eternal flame burning defiantly against the encroaching daylight. It's a sight she'll remember forever, etched into her heart like every moment they've shared together. But for now, Caesar must go. His sandals will leave imprints on Roman soil once more, echoing through history as surely as the waters of the Rubicon flowed under his feet that fateful night in January. And Cleopatra will wait, Queen of Egypt, lover of Julius Caesar, mother to their son, a reminder that even amidst wars and politics, love can bloom like lotus flowers beneath the moonlit Nile. In the hush of evening, as the sun dips below the Forum Romanum, a figure approaches Rome from the Via Appia. It is Gaius Julius Caesar, returned once more to the Eternal City, now bearing the title Dictator Perpetuo. His sandals whisper on the marble road, their echoing rhythm punctuated by the clip-clop of his horse's hooves. The scent of cypress trees and olive groves accompanies him, a familiar fragrance that speaks of home. Rome sprawls before him, an intricate tapestry of stone and life. The city breathes with activity. Carts rumble over cobblestones, merchants hawk their wares, children laugh in the fading light. Yet there's an undercurrent of change, a tension palpable even amidst the daily hum. Caesar, cloaked in his purple-bordered toga, feels it keenly. He is not just Caesar now, he is Caesar the dictator, and Rome has never felt more alive or more fragile. As he ascends the Quirinal hill, the grandeur of his villa unfolds like a welcoming embrace. The villa, built upon the site once occupied by a temple to Jupiter, stands as a testament to his power and ambition. Its columns stretch towards the heavens, their white marble glinting softly in the twilight. Servants greet him, their voices hushed, eyes downcast. They bear lamps filled with olive oil, their flames flickering like captive stars. Inside, the villa is a symphony of opulence. Frescoes depicting Caesar's campaigns dance across walls illuminated by torchlight. Statues of gods and goddesses watch over proceedings, silent sentinels in the gathering gloom. A grand library, still under construction, promises to house scrolls from every corner of the known world, a testament to his vision for a unified empire. Caesar retreats to his private chambers, discarding his cloak with practiced ease. He stands at the balcony, looking out over Rome. The city below is a constellation of lights, each one a hearth, a family, a life intertwined with his own. He breathes deeply, the cool night air filling his lungs, calming his mind. Dinner awaits in the triclinium. Reclining on couches arranged around a low table laden with food and wine, Caesar is joined by his inner circle. Marcus Antonius, loyal as ever, raises his cup in greeting, his eyes glinting in the lamplight. Brutus, steadfast and serious, nods gravely from his position at Caesar's feet. And there, across from him, lies Servilia, her beauty softened by years but still radiant enough to draw admiring glances. The conversation meanders like a river, touching on politics, philosophy, art. Caesar speaks of his reforms, the Julian calendar that will bring order to time itself, allowing Rome to stretch towards the sun with every passing day. He dreams aloud of aqueducts carrying water from the distant mountains, of roads stretching out like spokes on a wheel, binding his empire together. Mark Antony laughs, his voice booming. "You've conquered time and space now, Caesar. What remains?" Caesar smiles, but his gaze turns thoughtful. "Parthia," he says softly, almost to himself. "The East still eludes us." Brutus leans forward, his expression grave. "Some things are best left unconquered, Caesar. Not all lands want our yoke around their necks." Caesar regards him steadily. Yet under Rome, they could know peace, progress. Their voices merge into the evening symphony, punctuated by laughter, clinking glasses, and the rustle of silk togas. Yet beneath it all, an undercurrent stirs, unseen, unspoken, but felt nonetheless. In the quiet of their shared chamber later, Caesar lies awake beside Servilia. Her breath comes slow and steady, her body warm against his. But sleep eludes him. He thinks of Rome, of its senators, their whispers echoing through marble corridors like distant thunder. They fear him, he knows. His power casts a long shadow over the Republic. His thoughts are interrupted by Calpurnia's cry from across the villa. She dreams fitfully, her voice piercing the night with warnings of impending doom. Caesar stiffens, his heart pounding. It is not the first time she has dreamt such things. He pushes away thoughts of omens and bad luck, attributing it instead to her delicate constitution. Yet as he finally succumbs to sleep, the city below still humming with life, a shadow lingers at the edge of his consciousness. A sense of unease, like the whisper of steel against sandaled feet. But tonight, Rome sleeps undisturbed under its dictator's watchful eye. And so too does Caesar, his dreams filled with conquests yet to come, reforms yet to implement, an empire yet to unite. And as you listen from afar, let this ancient city lull you into slumber. Let the distant echoes of Rome's grandeur fill your mind, its whispered secrets settle over your heart. Feel the weight of Caesar's toga on your shoulders, the cool night air against your skin. Breathe in the scent of olive groves and cypress trees. Let it fill your lungs, calm your thoughts. Let Rome embrace you, cradle you in its ancient arms. Let its rhythm become yours, its heartbeat slow and steady, guiding you into dreams. Sleep now, dear listener, for tomorrow is another day under Caesar's sun, another step towards a unified empire. And tonight, there is nothing but the soft hum of Rome, lulling you gently into slumber. In the hushed hour before midnight, Julius Caesar lies awake in his palace, the city of Rome around him, strangely still, as if holding its breath. The olive oil lamps flicker, casting long shadows that dance upon the marble walls adorned with tapestries woven with tales of ancient heroes. The scent of fresh laurel leaves from his triumphant wreaths fills the air, mingling with the faint aroma of burning oil and the lingering perfume of yesterday's rose garlands. Calpurnia, Caesar's devoted wife, sleeps fitfully beside him, her dreams troubled by a vivid nightmare. She sees him, standing alone in the forum, surrounded by a dark cloud, his body drenched in blood, falling to the ground as if struck by lightning. She awakens with a start, her heart pounding like a drum echoing through the silent palace. "Caesar," she whispers, touching his arm gently. He turns to her, his eyes reflecting the lamplight, and sighs softly. "It is but a dream, dear wife. Let us not trouble ourselves with omens and portents." The night wears on, and Rome lies quiet under the watchful gaze of Jupiter's temple atop Capitoline Hill. The city breathes deeply, its rhythm steady and unhurried, like an ancient beast slumbering peacefully. Yet, beneath this tranquil facade, tension builds, coiled tightly like a serpent ready to strike. Dawn breaks over the eternal city, painting the sky with hues of gold and crimson, as if heralding a grand triumph instead of another ordinary day. Caesar rises from his bed, the cool marble floor kissing his feet, awakening them to the promise of a new morning. His slaves attend to him, helping him into his tunic and toga, the heavy fabric bearing the weight of his office, his authority. Breakfast is taken hastily, his thoughts already preoccupied with the matters of state awaiting him in the theatre of Pompey. As he walks through the familiar streets of Rome, Caesar's sandals echo against the pavement, a rhythm that has become as much a part of this city's heartbeat as the ticking of the water clocks. He passes by the bustling forum, where merchants hawk their wares, and citizens engage in lively debates under the watchful eyes of marble gods. Yet today, there is an undercurrent of tension, a sense of anticipation that hangs heavy in the air, like the thick smoke from yesterday's sacrifices. At the theatre of Pompey, the Senate awaits him, their faces a mix of anxiety and determination. As Caesar enters, he notices among them Mark Antony, his loyal friend and ally, and Brutus, once his devoted supporter, now wearing an expression as inscrutable as the Sphinx. A soothsayer approaches him, his eyes downcast, and whispers, "Beware the Ides of March, Caesar." Caesar pauses, a slight frown creasing his forehead, then steps into the theatre, his stride unbroken. The theatre of Pompey stands majestic, its marble columns reaching towards the heavens like the pillars that hold up the world. The sunlight streams in through the open roof, casting dappled shadows upon the senators seated around him. The air is thick with tension, the silence so profound it seems even the birds have taken flight, leaving behind an emptiness that presses heavily upon Caesar's shoulders. He begins to speak, his voice steady and commanding, outlining his plans for Rome's future. Then, without warning, a flash of steel glints in the sunlight. A dagger is drawn, its blade poised like a viper ready to strike. It is the first of many, wielded by hands once sworn to protect him, now raised against him. The senators rush towards Caesar, their faces contorted with anger and fear. 23 wounds are inflicted upon his body, each one a betrayal, a violation of the trust he had placed in them. He struggles, tries to fight back, but they press around him like a relentless tide, their cries echoing through the theater like the howls of wild beasts. Caesar falls at the base of Pompey's statue, his life ebbing away with each beat of his heart. His last words are spoken not in anger or defiance, but in disbelief. Et tu, brute? Then silence descends, heavy and absolute, broken only by the distant cawing of a lone crow. As Caesar's body is carried away, Rome watches, breath held captive by the shock and horror of what has transpired. The theatre of Pompeii stands silent, its marble columns bearing witness to the brutal act that will echo through history. The city itself seems to hold its breath, as if mourning the loss of a man who had risen from humble beginnings to become one of its greatest sons. Night falls once more over Rome, casting its cloak of shadows upon the city. Yet even in the darkness, there is a sense of tranquility, of order restored. The calendar that Caesar had reformed, marking the year with his own name, will continue to turn, each day a testament to his legacy. July, named in his honor by his adopted son and heir Augustus, will bring with it memories of triumphs past and promise of glories yet to come. Across centuries, Caesar's name will be whispered on winds that carry it from the halls of power to the humble cottages of peasants. It will echo in the cries of rulers, from the Caesars who claimed his bloodline to the Tsar of Russia, whose very title is a distant descendant of Caesar's imperium. His spirit will walk unseen among the legions of Rome, marching ever onwards, carrying with it the weight of history and the promise of eternity. As you lie here tonight, listening to the soft rustle of your blankets, let the story of Caesar lull you into slumber. Let his legacy be your companion as you drift towards dreams, knowing that even in sleep Rome endures. And so shall you, for you are a part of this eternal city, woven into its tapestry like the threads of time itself. Close your eyes now, let the darkness embrace you, and know that Rome sleeps with you tonight. Its heartbeat is steady, its breath deep and regular, like an ancient lullaby sung by the centuries. Let it guide you into a peaceful slumber where you too will stand tall among the legions of history, forever bound to the eternal city. Sleep well, dear listener, for tomorrow is another day in the everlasting life of Rome.